They told you attraction was magic, that spark in your chest, that rush in your veins. You believed it meant love. But here's the darkest truth. Attraction isn't always chemistry. Most of the time, it's your wounds choosing for you. Carl Jung warned us, until you heal, you won't attract what you want. You'll attract what you haven't healed. That's why toxic patterns feel so magnetic and why peace often feels boring. In this video, we're breaking down why obsession feels addictive, how seduction can be weaponized, and most importantly, how to finally break the cycle. Stay until the end, because the answer is not what you think it is. That intense pull we call chemistry is often not love. It's projection of the unconscious. Most people think desire is proof of connection. When your heart races, your body tenses, and your mind obsesses over someone, you're told it must be fate. But Carl Jung argued differently. He believed that sexual attraction often reveals more about your wounds than your wants. Think about it. Why are we sometimes magnetically drawn to people who hurt us, ignore us, or leave us drained? If attraction were truly about compatibility, logic would protect us. But it doesn't. We chase the unavailable, the dangerous, the manipulative, and we call it passion. Jung explained this through projection. The unconscious mind takes qualities we've repressed or never developed and projects them onto others. That's why someone can feel like the missing piece. They embody what we've buried within ourselves. This is where the illusion of chemistry is born. The spark you feel isn't necessarily love. It's your shadow recognizing itself in another body. The pull is real, but its roots are not in destiny. They're in unresolved pain. Here's the unsettling truth. When you feel powerless in attraction, you're not choosing freely. You're being chosen by your own unconscious. The person isn't your soulmate. They're a mirror reflecting the parts of you you've ignored. So what feels like chemistry may actually be an invitation to look inward, not outward. To ask, why does this person light me up so intensely? What do they awaken in me that I lack in myself? Am I in love with them or with the part of me they represent? Until you answer these questions, attraction will remain a trickster. It will dress up your wounds as romance and keep you chasing completion in someone else. Real love isn't found in the storm of obsession. It emerges when you integrate your shadow, when you stop needing another person to carry what you've hidden from yourself. Only then does attraction stop being projection and start becoming choice. Carl Jung believed that attraction isn't just about two people colliding in the real world. It's also about hidden forces inside us that quietly shape our desires. Central to this is his concept of the anima and the animus, the inner opposites that live within every human being. Inside every man exists an anima, the inner feminine. She represents sensitivity, creativity, intuition, vulnerability, qualities that culture often tells men to suppress. Inside every woman lives an animus, the inner masculine. He embodies strength, logic, drive, assertiveness, traits that many women have historically been discouraged from developing. These inner figures are not passive ideas. They carry emotional charge. They form the secret blueprint of attraction. When you meet someone who mirrors your inner opposite, the reaction feels almost supernatural. The psyche lights up. It says, there it is, the missing part, the one who can make you whole. The pull is magnetic, irrational, and almost impossible to resist. But here's the truth Jung warned us about. In moments like this, you're not really loving the other person. You're loving the part of yourself you've buried. That man who seems so commanding, so decisive, so strong, he may embody the animus you never gave voice to within yourself. That woman who seems enchanting, soft, mysterious, alive with emotional depth, she may reflect the anima you've never allowed yourself to nurture. This is why such attraction often feels overwhelming. It isn't just about the person in front of you. It's your unconscious recognizing itself through them. They become a mirror, not a partner. And when we mistake the mirror for love, we risk surrendering not to connection, but to projection. The tragedy is that this projection blinds us. We don't see the real individual. We see a fantasy we've unconsciously cast onto them. And in chasing that fantasy, we ignore the deeper truth. Wholeness can't be given to us by another. It has to be integrated within ourselves. To truly love, Jung argued, we must reclaim the anima or animus within us. We must develop the qualities we've rejected so we no longer need another person to carry them for us. Then, when we meet someone who resonates with our inner world, it won't be out of desperation or incompleteness. It will be choice, the meeting of two whole selves rather than two halves searching for completion. In this way, the anima and animus aren't just forces of attraction. They are invitations. Invitations to confront what we've denied, to integrate what we've projected, and to become whole enough that love is no longer a mirror of lack, but an expression of fullness. Obsession in love often feels like the highest form of passion, a sign that you've found someone extraordinary. But beneath the intensity lies a darker truth. Obsession is rarely about the other person. More often, it is about the past repeating itself in disguise. Carl Jung and other depth psychologists pointed out that when we're magnetically drawn to toxic or unavailable partners, the attraction is not random. It comes from old, unhealed wounds. We are not simply in love, we are in pursuit of resolution. Take the example of a man raised by a cold, emotionally distant mother. As a child, he longed for affection that never came. He grew up feeling unseen, unheard, and unworthy of tenderness. That wound didn't disappear with age. It hid in his unconscious, shaping his adult relationships. Now when he encounters a woman who withholds affection, something lights up inside him. He feels alive, drawn, addicted. Why? Because his psyche whispers, this is your chance to win the love you were denied. This cycle is called repetition compulsion. The unconscious mind recreates familiar pain, hoping this time the story will end differently. The man doesn't consciously choose cold, rejecting women. His wound chooses them for him. Each new partner becomes an unconscious attempt to rewrite his childhood script. But instead of healing, the cycle deepens. Every rejection reopens the same wound he's been carrying since childhood. This is why obsession feels addictive. It isn't about passion, it's about compulsion. The brain mistakes the intensity of familiar pain for chemistry, the heart mistakes the chase for love, and the body mistakes the anxiety of uncertainty for desire. The pull is real, but it isn't healthy. It's the past demanding another replay. The tragedy is that this loop blinds us to genuine love. A partner who offers warmth, stability, or unconditional care may feel boring compared to the thrill of chaos. That's because the nervous system has been trained to equate unpredictability with intimacy. Peace feels foreign, while pain feels like home. Breaking the addiction requires awareness. The man must recognize that he is not chasing women. He is chasing his mother's ghost. The woman must see that she is not drawn to bad boys. She is reenacting her father's indifference. Until we name these patterns, they own us. Obsession will always feel intoxicating because it promises resolution. But resolution never comes from repeating the past. It comes from healing it. Only when we confront our wounds directly, through reflection, therapy, or conscious self-work, can we step out of the cycle. Then attraction transforms. Instead of chasing those who re-traumatize us, we become free to choose partners who reflect our healing, not our hurt. So the next time obsession takes hold, ask yourself, is this love, or is this a rerun of a story I've been trying to end since childhood? Some people, often without realizing it, use attraction like a lever. Mirror you to pull you in, then drip feed affection to keep you hooked. It feels like love. It's usually a projection trap powered by your wounds, their strategy, and a few well-documented psychology effects working together. 1. Projection. They become the mirror you can't look away from. Jung argued we carry an inner opposite, anima in men, the inner feminine, and animus in women, the inner masculine. When someone seems to embody that inner figure, the psyche lights up and we project our disowned qualities onto them. That you complete me rush can be less about who they are and more about what you've suppressed seeking recognition. Now add mirroring. Social psych research shows that subtle, non-conscious mimicry, the chameleon effect, increases liking and the smoothness of interaction. In the wild, a skilled seducer mirrors your posture, cadence, tastes, even values. You read it as soulmate energy. Your nervous system reads it as safety and sameness. You're not just attracted, you're attached to an image that reflects your inner vacuum back at you. 2. Intermittent reward. Why withholding affection makes you chase. Once the bond forms, many manipulators don't shower constant love. They withhold, then reward, then withhold. Behavioral science is blunt here. Variable, intermittent reinforcement creates the most persistent, hard-to-extinguish pursuit. Think slot machines. When affection, attention, or sex arrives unpredictably, your brain doubles down to earn the next win. In relationships, that looks like breadcrumbing, hot-cold texting, or post-conflict passion that keeps you coming back. This is why some men learn, consciously or not, that withholding makes certain partners try harder, and why some women discover that mirroring plus sporadic intimacy amplifies a man's fixation, especially if he's projecting anima content onto her. The schedule, not the substance, drives the craving. 3. The trauma bond spiral. When idealization alternates with rejection, the attachment can harden into a trauma bond, a strong emotional tie formed under cycles of affection and distress. Empirical work on traumatic bonding shows that intermittent abuse, or reward punishment, paradoxically strengthens attachment to the very person causing pain. That's the trap. The more it hurts, the more your system seeks relief from the same source. Popular labels like love bombing, devaluation, discard map to similar dynamics. Rapid idealization creates a high. Withholding collapses your self-trust. Then the intermittent good moments keep you invested. It's not always pathology, but it's a recognizable manipulation pattern worth naming. Couples research describes a demand, dari withdraw, pursuer distancer pattern. One partner escalates pursuit for closeness, the other retreats, which increases pursuit. Rotate that with intermittent reward, and you've engineered a self-fueling chase that feels like fate. Attachment theory helps explain who's vulnerable. Anxious styles tend to chase reassurance. Avoidant styles tend to protect distance. Put them together and you get chronic friction that's easy to mistake for chemistry. How weaponized seduction looks in practice. Mirroring your anima, animus. They reflect your disowned traits, tenderness, mystery, confidence, drive so precisely that you project wholeness onto them. Intermittent access. Hot one day, cold the next. Affection arrives unpredictably. Text streaks, then silence. Your pursuit intensifies. Value confusion, idealization. You're unlike anyone. Followed by subtle devaluation, negs, comparisons, aloofness. Bond tightens under stress. Role control. Some women, not all, discover that mirroring a man's anima plus selective availability maximizes his pursuit. Some men, not all, exploit withholding to keep women investing. The mechanism is psychological, not gender essential. We like to believe that attraction is proof of destiny, that the stronger the pull we feel towards someone, the more it must mean they're the one. But Carl Jung's psychology reveals a darker truth. You don't always attract people. You attract your unhealed emotions. This is the trap of attraction. Think about the moments when you felt instantly consumed by someone. You couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think about anything but them. Society romanticizes this as passion, the spark we're all supposed to chase. But psychology suggests the opposite. The stronger the pull, the more likely it's tied to your unfinished story. That obsessive energy often signals not genuine compatibility, but the reactivation of a wound. You're not just falling in love, you're falling back into a pattern. Why does this happen? Because the unconscious is always looking for resolution. If you grew up with rejection, neglect, or inconsistency, those feelings form a blueprint. When you meet someone who mirrors that dynamic, your psyche lights up, not because it's healthy, but because it's familiar. Your nervous system says, this is home. But home for many was chaos. That's why people say things like, why am I only attracted to toxic partners? Or I lose interest when someone treats me well. It isn't a flaw in their character. It's emotional programming. Pain has become the standard for intimacy, so peace feels boring. Intensity is seductive. It feels alive, electric, undeniable. But intensity is often a signal of trauma, not love. It comes from trying to resolve the past through the present. A man ignored by his mother feels drawn to women who withhold affection. A woman abandoned by her father feels consumed by men who keep their distance. A person raised in chaos feels restless around stability, but alive in turbulence. Each time the unconscious whispers, this is your chance to fix the story. But the story doesn't get fixed, it just repeats. The way out begins with awareness. When attraction feels overwhelming, instead of asking, how do I get them? Ask, what do they represent? Do they mirror someone from my past? Do I feel calm around them or addicted? Is this attraction rooted in wholeness or in a wound I'm still carrying? Real love doesn't trap you in intensity. It grounds you in safety. True compatibility doesn't hijack your nervous system. It calms it. If obsession is present, the attraction may not be about love at all. It may be about your unconscious trying to rewrite history. We often treat love as the search for someone who will complete us. The missing half. The perfect counterpart who will heal what hurts and make life whole again. But Carl Jung warned against this fantasy. His answer to the trap of attraction was individuation. The process of integrating our shadow, our wounds, and our projections so that we no longer depend on another person to finish the story of our past. Individuation is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming whole. Every human being carries disowned parts of themselves. Qualities we repress, wounds we avoid, patterns we unconsciously repeat. As long as those remain hidden, we project them outward. We look for someone to carry what we've buried. That's why attraction can feel so compulsive. We don't fall for the person in front of us. We fall for the part of ourselves we've lost. We don't choose them. Our wounds choose for us. Individuation breaks this cycle. It is the courage to face the shadow instead of outsourcing it, to integrate the feminine within the man and the masculine within the woman, to name the childhood wounds that keep writing the same story in adulthood. When you individuate, attraction stops being a trap. You no longer chase people to fix what's broken in you. You choose from wholeness, not emptiness. You stop looking for someone to heal your past and start looking for someone to share your present. Here's the paradox. When you begin to heal, real love may not look the way you expected. It doesn't consume you with anxiety. It doesn't leave you sleepless, haunted, or endlessly waiting for crumbs of attention. It feels calm. Real love is grounded. It feels safe, steady, and reciprocal. Instead of igniting chaos in your nervous system, it quiets it. Instead of making you feel addicted, it makes you feel seen. And because we've been conditioned to equate passion with pain, this peace can feel boring at first. The storm feels familiar, while stability feels foreign. But peace is not boring. It is what love looks like when trauma no longer chooses for you. Toxic attraction feels like fire, exciting, wild, dangerous, and unpredictable. Healthy love feels like earth, steady, nurturing, and life-giving. The difference isn't intensity, it's sustainability. Fire burns you out. Earth sustains you. Jung's solution to the trap of attraction was never to reject desire, but to make it conscious. To ask, am I drawn to this person because I'm whole or because I'm wounded? The answer determines everything. Individuation teaches us that true love is not about finding someone to complete us. It's about finding someone to walk with us once we have completed ourselves. It's not about chaos disguised as passion, but peace disguised as unfamiliarity. Real love will not drown you. It will steady you. It may not look like the storm you're used to, but given time, you'll see it for what it truly is. Not boring, but healing. Not foreign, but home. Unhealed wounds will always drag you back into toxic attraction. Healing yourself is what finally gives you the freedom to choose real love. Because here's the truth. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you haven't healed. And once you heal, everything about the way you love changes. If this video made you pause and rethink your patterns, hit that like button so we know this content matters. Drop a comment below with your biggest realization, or share the cycle you've broken in your own life. And if you're ready to keep going deeper into the psychology of love, attraction, and the shadow, make sure you subscribe. This isn't just a channel. It's a community of people turning pain into power and wounds into wisdom.